Hello and welcome back, or just welcome. Thank you for joining us on Toxic. This is the podcast where we talk about pop culture and moments happening right now in society. From a critical lens, we are cultural critics. My name is Leia, and this is
Shalina.
And this week we are talking about the Kardashians. Our, I don't know, maybe least favorite topic. Neither one of us are real raving fans.
I know, and this is
Feel
what, the
mm-hmm.
second episode we've had to talk about them, maybe?
Yeah. I'm one of those people who says everything I know about the Kardashians I know against my will, and that is true. Except of late, because of this podcast, having to actually delve into some things and learn some stuff. I've taken one for the team and learned a bit more than on purpose on my own, more than I would ever think I'd want to know. So yeah, this time we are talking about the feud, I guess the long-lasting feud between the eldest sister and the most famous sister. So Kourtney being the eldest and Kim being the most famous. And the reason this is relevant now is because they have had a recent, and it's hard to understand what's recent because this is a show that's taped, right? And then edited and then trotted out months after incidents happen. So a relatively recent bout that they had. Is that correct, would you say?
Well, we recently found out about it, but I don't know
But
how.
it's recently in the
Been,
zeitgeist.
yeah. For sure. They're talking about it right now because their season 4 of their Kardashian show on Hulu premiered earlier this week. So
they're already on season 4.
I know, that's what I thought too.
That's
and this
insane.
Is a new show.
That's a new show, right? Not the one they've had for the past
7 years.
That's crazy.
Actually, no, it wasn't 7 years, was it?
Way more.
Okay, well, whatever. I don't know and I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So yeah, they had this show and apparently all heck broke loose and they got in a huge fight on the phone, and I mean almost everybody agrees it was pretty ugly. Now, of course, some people are saying that it's like that is the dress blue or white, or was it the gold or blue? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember. It was like 2017 or something where there was like that striped dress, and some people thought it looked one color, and other people thought it looked another color, and everybody thought everybody was nuts. And so some people think Khloe's.
It's very clearly Kourtney's fault, or very clear, or like obviously Kim's fault, right?
Right, exactly. I have to get the right case. Kim and Kourtney.
But yeah. I was going to say we should actually start with the beginning of what the fight is, right? Like that seems like they've had a pretty long-standing feud. But this fight, at least both parties' understanding of it, really, the root of it is they're sisters, and they are unfortunately rivals, or they have a not even a rivalry, right? They're not rivals. There's some issues of jealousy and bossiness and diva-ness and all those things.
Insecurity
and insecurity, absolutely, and fame whoring. But with this actual recent fight, yes, comes from Kourtney's wedding in March 23rd, I believe, of this year to Travis Barker, which is in Italy, and the entire wedding party was outfitted in the gaudiest creations from Dolce & Gabbana, which is so sad because they make such beautiful clothes, such beautiful campaigns, but this wedding party looked absolutely atrocious, with the bride looking quite possibly
the worst, which is the worst. Wow.
She's mad at the wrong people, to be honest, but okay, you want to blame your sister, but okay, I blame your stylist, I blame the two master designers who should have done you wrong, sis.
They did you wrong. Do they hate her? Whatever. That's a different topic for a different day.
Your husband who should have told you, like, ma'am,
what's he supposed to do or say? He's not even supposed to see the dress.
Why do you have on a mini skirt and a train that's literally 12 times as long? Like, what is going on?
Listen, I am always quick to look sideways at the men folk, but I have to defend them on this one. I mean, I don't think he had anything to do. Like, you're not even supposed to see the dress until you see the dress, so we cannot blame him.
I guess not,
Good
but
Lord, you got me out
yeah,
here defending him. I don't even know who that
different.
man is or care about him. But anyway, let's go back to what you were
Anyway,
saying.
yes. So, so at this wedding, very bizarrely dressed wedding, apparently Kim, I don't, and it's not made clear, at least to me, and not having seen the full episode of that incident of the wedding, she began a business deal with Dolce and Gabbana. The designers of Dolce and Gabbana are, those are their last names. They are Stefano Dolce, and I forget the other ones. Something Gabbano. I've been joking they're all Stefano because it's just the most stereotypical Italian name, and it kind of works. I believe there are a couple in real life. And so,
So.
Kim Kardashian either approached them at the wedding or whatever it was. After the wedding, she brokered a deal with them to, I believe, star in some campaigns for them. So
Mm-hmm.
Kourtney left there feeling apparently, and this is on camera. This is why we know this. Kind of salty that her sister A didn't really seem that excited to be there for her, and apparently complained a lot of the time, and B used it as a business opportunity. So she was very and really C, although she would say this, but not exactly. That she kind of hogged the limelight, like she was. It's funny. At least in the clips that I saw, she didn't seem to reference the things she did that Kim did that made her feel like she stole the spotlight. But she kind of referenced that she, couldn't let her have the spotlight for a moment. So
Right, like people were taking more photos of her, paparazzi or something, right? Or a photo shoot, or
oh, is that what she was mad about?
I think so, but no one's clear and we don't know. And honestly, it's just too much. I don't care. I don't care to find out. Um, oh, you know what? His name, I just looked it up. Dominicio,
Oh, that
which is
makes
kind
sense.
of
That's
perfect.
right.
Dominicio Dolce.
Perfect. Yeah,
They're so cute.
they really
Um,
are.
so anyway, back to the matters at hand. You said something, it made me forget something, but oh, you said the business still. Oh, this is the other part she led with, which is actually so sad and telling in every way. She led with, though, despite all that, that Kim was not happy on her
Yeah.
wedding or wasn't happy for her. So put a pin in that because that may also be relevant. So yeah, she's
Yes, we definitely. Yeah. Go
happy
ahead.
for me.
I actually think that is the main point of this.
Oh,
Kind of
interesting.
one of the main points. I actually do think so. That it is that really. I think what she's saying is you did not seem happy for me on my day. Because I've seen that before in real life. Where someone is saying that they're picking on things that are really not as relevant, but what they're really saying is I want you to be happy for me. And that's actually the sentiment that I got.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, and so I do feel for. It's funny, like I actually feel for both of them in the situation as much as I can, since I don't really, I'm not like a huge fan of either of these. Well, yeah, of this family, but yeah. What should we get into first? What do you think?
But do you think it's true? Because Kim's reaction was kind of like, what do you mean? Why would you
Yes, I think it's true. Yep, that's
say that?
exactly. Yes,
You don't
yeah,
think Kim was happy for her? And
yeah.
like
I
Kim
think
said, why wouldn't I be happy for you?
because it's weird.
What's
And I'm
weird?
sure she's scared for her sister. It's a weird situation. Like they have not been dating a long time. Kourtney has never been married before. This is very quick. This is happening rapidly. Travis's ex-wife seems to be rather hostile. His children seem to be. I don't even know what to call them. Like, I don't want to say poorly behaved because I think that's not nice or
Oh, you said
fair.
he.
But no,
Okay,
he's a great
go
dad.
ahead.
No, he's a great dad. I'm just saying that they're Hollywood kids. You know what I mean? Like they're a little snotty. They're a
Oh, so
little. They're a
you
little
think
aloof. They're. Mhm.
that it's possibly true that Kim was
Was
not or is
genuinely not happy. Right?
was
Yeah.
genuinely not
No.
happy, but had but not out of jealousy or this or
Yes.
that, but had a
Just out
genuine
of concern. Yeah.
concern
I.
for her
Mhm.
sister who she loves. Oh,
Yes.
oh boy,
I
that
genuinely think
complicates
so.
things. Okay,
No,
I
definitely.
didn't even think about
Plus,
that.
with the also little revealing detail that everyone wants to conveniently leave out, which is apparently Travis had a little crush on Kim in the distant past, so like 10 years ago or so. I think she
And
probably
put it
like
in print. So this is not a rumor. It's
right
literally in his memoir
his own memoir that he at
that he
least
wrote, presumably.
yeah, ghost wrote or yeah, the ghost writer thing, but yes, he wrote. So yeah, honestly, I think that's what she's picking up on, but Kim can't say that.
And worse, it wasn't so we kind of pulled receipts. Apparently, it wasn't just that he was like, oh, or oh, I had a crush on her, or she was cute. It was pretty detailed. And at the time, he happened to be dating Paris Hilton. And he even wrote how even though he was dating Paris Hilton and Kim was there as her basically her assistant, her bestie slash stylish closet
Mhm.
organizer assistant, he was like, I couldn't take my eyes off her. I was just
Mhm.
so into her. And he even said, I think I fell in love with her. This is all in print.
Yikes.
That's yikes is about
Big yikes.
that sums it up. And honestly,
Yes,
it could
exactly.
mean nothing, right? Like I mean, uh, at one point I
Well,
was
I don't
in love
know
with
about
Brad
that.
Pitt. I don't know. Like, but that doesn't mean that you don't get
Yeah.
married or and you just don't feel that way anymore. It's just not true. And that was
Sure, but being the person on the receiving end of, and knowing that someone used to like you, is it normal for them to marry your sister? Does that feel normal to you? Would that feel good? Would that feel like, yeah, this is a natural progression of things? I mean, it could, like, they're a strange family. It could, right? But I mean, it doesn't seem really possible. So anyway, there's a lot of backstories, but the story
brutal.
that they're presenting now, the thing that they think they're fighting about now, is that Kim apparently did not um, pause her business dealings to be in Italy, complained a lot, and also kind of sucked up some of the spotlight from her sister, which I don't know if she can help. I'm sure she courted it more than she should have as well, but I don't think she can really help being mega famous. Not that she can help it. She obviously courted that as well. She is mega famous because she wanted to be. However, it's not a thing you can turn off because someone gets married. I think we all saw footage from gosh, I can't believe I'm saying these words. Poor Taylor Swift, going to her good lifelong friend's wedding just like a month or two ago, very recently in summer, I think it was a rehearsal dinner, not even the wedding yet. And the place was swarmed. It was like just like a sweet little mom and
Uh,
pop type of restaurant, and literally helicopters and paparazzi camped outside for a family just wanting to see their kids. Like she happens to have one famous friend that happens to be coming to the wedding, and now it's a circus.
oh no, I hadn't heard about that. That is a lot. That's pretty
But it's not
unfortunate.
a thing she can, and how embarrassing for her, right? But she can't turn it off.
Oh, and honestly, that's part of this. And a cautionary tale. Fame
Yeah,
and fortune can come with some pretty vicious, I don't know, accompaniment.
unwanted, yeah, accompaniments
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, so they think this fight is about this one thing, and to get back to the fight itself, that's what it presents itself. It is about those issues we mentioned about uh, Kim. A bit of diva attitude, plus the attention, plus making business deals at or around the wedding. So this fight,
Escalated pretty quickly, frankly,
yes,
because
and
it
this is on the
went
phone.
from there, yeah,
Yeah, well, so
to
apparently they had a fight previously, I believe, also televised. Then they buried the hatchet, or at least kind of not pretended to, but like thought they did. And then this came up because what was it? Kim was having like a dinner for the launch of her campaign with Dolce & Gabbana. She called her sister. I know, she calls Kourtney to see if she'll come. And Kourtney is like, absolutely not. We've got issues to talk about. And then that's when they start to hash this out. And they have a knockdown, drag out phone call, which is actually pretty ugly. And again, as a person who does not watch the show, having to watch this clip was actually really hard for me. I don't like people fighting. I don't like sisters fighting, people who love each other, because it does feel especially vicious. It's one thing if there's two people who don't know each other, hate each other, whatever, but there's something about families fighting that's just very uncomfortable. And
yeah,
yeah,
it
they say
kind of
some
made
really
me
mean.
sad.
Yeah, I mean, they say some very mean things to each other, including Kim. Well, Kourtney saying that she hates her sister, which
And she
I'm
also
sure.
says, I don't need you anymore. That was kind of gross.
Yeah, especially the anymore part, like that you
Yeah.
acknowledge that you did at some point and we're happy to use her services, but now she's dismissed because you're tired of it. Like,
Right. Or and because now you're married to Travis Barker and he
oh,
has
I didn't get
so
that part.
I think there was
He
a
has
little
his
bit
own
like she
fame.
said,
Okay,
yeah, now I'm
I
like
knew
I'm
I
over
knew there
here
was some
with
other part of it that you
uh-huh.
thought, but I was wondering where you were going with that. But that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't need you anymore.
Um.
I don't need this anymore. I don't need this brand new. I don't need this fit. You know what I mean? I don't need you
mm,
anymore.
so yeah. Well,
Ugh.
she absolutely does, because that's not. Yeah. Um. So yeah. So to describe the fight, Kim accuses her of being just kind of mean and sour and awful most of the time,
And
and
negative, and
kind of
that even
complain.
her friends. thinks that
Yes,
of
and then so
her.
then Kim says that they have a group chat without her. It's called Not Kourtney, which is pretty dang on mean, and that even that her own friends and children, meaning Kourtney's own friends and children, will come and complain to the rest of the family about her.
And may or
Here's
may
the
not be in the chat. She may have alluded like they're also in the chat.
right.
So
So
yikes.
really not nice. And here's what's really not nice about it. Kim knows exactly what she's doing. We all have that. Not that we have family chats without the one, but if you're in a family, yes, at some point you're not ganging up on people, but you are concerned about the same things about the same people. Yeah, So people do talk about, and guess what? They do it to Kim too. Kim's getting too big for her. Who knows what those conversations are? But to weaponize it like that is what's that's what's gross.
Right. And
Because
then,
yeah,
oh, sorry, you go
no,
ahead.
just because they do very naturally happen that way. That and you're not ganging up necessarily, although some families do, but you have the same concerns. So you're going to talk about them without that person, and then you're going to present a very sanitized, couched version of whatever the issue is with the person. But to make it sound like everyone's talking about you and we're
All the
all
time
whispering
behind
and
your
your
back.
children hate you, yeah, that's just not nice. And of course, she did not handle it well. So Kourtney then lashed out and said, I hate you, and basically, yeah, like we said,
And you quit.
I don't need you anymore. So
Well,
period.
and she almost started to cry. And
Yeah.
I have my own personal views of all of them. And I do think some of the criticism often lodged at Kourtney is true. I think she can be a little negative, a little bit mean, a little bit tough. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's difficult. How about this? She can be difficult. Um, but honestly, she's probably deeply unhappy because typically difficult people are deeply unhappy. That's why they're difficult. So there's
Yeah.
something probably deeply wrong there, some sort of
Yeah.
giant resentment, hurt, insecurity. But I don't know. I'm not a therapist, and I just
Yeah.
people are so much. Um,
True, but like we were talking about a little bit earlier, what is so heartbreaking is all those things are true, right? Like, and
right.
all those conflicts are come up quite naturally in people's lives and their relationships with their siblings. However, there's usually someone there to arbitrate, to minimize, to placate both parties. And in this case, that person is their momager, who actually seems to be pretty content with just making money off of it. Just keep rolling, keep filming, and and monetize this family strife, which
Right.
I think is pretty damaging. And whatever it is pretty yucky.
Right. Like at this point, they are not in need of a momager. They need a mom. And
Yeah,
ugh, because those
yeah. Mhm.
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it seems from the casual onlooker who doesn't watch these episodes like therapy. Anyone like shouldn't we talk about this and try to resolve some of these issues instead of just rehashing them and making them a cliffhanger two-parter episode? Like
Right.
it's
Making
more than
them
foolish at
worse.
this point. It seems actually rather damaging.
It does. And of course we know like some like reality TV can be scripted. It can be there's all sorts of things that could be happening behind the scenes to make things more than dramatic than they are, or just outright lies or whatever. But then I think we all kind of just intuitively and as a culture know that some things that are real on reality television. And
Yeah.
you can kind of get a sense of when they are, and then it's like, oh, yikes. Like that was like it's not funny, it's not cute, it's not entertaining. It's actually traumatic and demoralizing to see. Because let's be for real, both of us are kind of disdainful and condescending towards them and that whole family. Like I can admit that
Yeah.
I admire the mom as a mastermind and a businesswoman, maybe not necessarily as a mom. Sometimes I kind of admire her as a matriarch, but
Mm,
watching this episode and when I have disdain for pop culture reality TV, glorifying people like them, blah blah blah. Um, I felt a lot of empathy and sadness, but like it actually made me sad and kind of hurt my feelings, which is so
mm.
weird. It's like, do I care about these people at all? But yeah, no, I guess I like that was sad. That was hard to watch. That was not okay.
It was hard to watch. I think the unless you got more to say, I think the last piece to really discuss is just kind of what you were saying. Some of the ills of fame and fortune, and something you said earlier to me was that the kind of it's corrosive, right? And
Mhm.
it seems to
Can be.
to be eating away at a family that was at some point fairly cohesive.
Yeah, and it's like they're picking fame and money over
Right. Yeah.
working on their interior, because that's the thing. So we were talking about how Kourtney is like, the criticism of her are can be kind of accurate, but then we also have to acknowledge that like Kim over the years have said some really mean things to her, and even if they were true, are those things you say to someone you love and who's your family on national television?
Yeah.
Even if they're legitimate criticisms, like that was nasty and hurtful and kind of
Yeah.
cruel.
You're so right, because one of the lines that they fought about before. So not this current fight, but the fight right before this one, I guess, the maybe even the one where they were physical, because they've gotten in a physical altercation
I
on a
think more
couple of
than one,
occasions.
right?
Yeah. But she says, so Kim says to Kourtney, as she's storming out after this fight, you're the least interesting to look at. And it seems so unnecessarily cutting. And again,
Hmm.
like you said, like this is on TV. And maybe there is an element, like you said, maybe, there is an element of not just this is televised and it's terrible because of that, but like maybe they're playing it up for the camera. Who knows? Because that line could easily have been not made it in. You know what I mean? You could say something horrible to your sister and then ask for it to be edited out so it's not there forever. But obviously it heightens the drama. And what and the point I want to make, and the thing that I find so heartbreaking, is people now repeat that line.
Oh
And
boy.
I had never really seen it before, because again I don't watch shows, so I'd heard people say that line, right? And I've seen the clip, and then in preparing for this, I saw a longer version of that clip, and it's just like, yikes! Wow, okay, like even if you thought that, did you need to share that? And now, yeah, people do say it, as a joke to each other, but that's something you said to your real life sister that you can never
Oh,
take back.
right. And actually, it's something like I think we all say things. No, not that we all, but we all probably have times in our life said things out of anger that we didn't mean. We truly didn't mean and had never thought it before. And it was just a way to, and then there's times where you might say something out of anger that actually you deep down inside think, and you just always keep to yourself because you never, and then it just slips out. And basically that's what makes that even especially hurtful. Both of those scenarios are bad, but the reality is Kim actually kind of thinks that. And
Kim
then
thinks
just said
that,
it to her
yeah.
sister on national television. Like, yuck, gross, terrible.
Yes, all of those things, but to me, the thing that makes it even like triple worse is that they have ample time to edit that kind of thing out. You could at some point think, you know what? I meant it. I said it. It's too mean. It's too much. Like this is a person I love, and I don't want that to be an impression that I put out there of them. But that did not happen. And I'm sure that, look, there's literal hundreds and thousands of hours of footage of these people. I'm not saying they go through every single thing and even know probably what most of the episodes are going to end up looking and sounding like.
I'm
But
sure they do. I
they're
bet they're
nowhere
all
near.
control freaks. I certainly would be.
Do you think?
Absolutely. Are you
Maybe
kidding me?
that's
That's why they're
yeah.
the producers of it now. And
That
I
is a lot
think
of footage
the
to watch. Yeah.
momager might be the executive. Oh, I see what you're saying because there's so much footage. No, but you
Yeah.
watch the final cut. Good to know if anybody
Sure.
ever offers me a reality TV show, which I will definitely decline unless
Yeah.
it's enough
So
money. No, you just watch.
you know what we just said?
I know. Be wary of
Oh
that.
no, the trappings of fame already got her.
What trappings, what fame.
Oh no.
Anyway, no, that's what you should do is you watch the final cut and then make sure it's what you want
Yeah.
before it's the final cut. So yeah,
And
you're
isn't
right.
that
I forgot
interesting
about
that,
that
that
footage.
that they would choose, like, however this shakes out, like that you would choose either the most cutting remark that is makes for, I guess, pretty good television, if you're into that kind of thing, over preserving your, oh yeah, even though you would choose that kind of image over loving your sister
Right. Which just
and
means
wanting
that
to put your
family
sister in the
now,
best light.
yes, that's such a good, beautiful point. That means the family now is really about what keeps the
Yeah.
viewers engaged, what makes us some more money, because they're talking about it all over the internet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it worked, unfortunately. Yes, these tactics apparently do work. So I think we can expect to see more of them. But what would be nice, what I think would be nice, would be for them to have to defend it. For someone to say, you know what, this actually
Hmm.
is not just gross, but it's hard to watch, and it should be unwatchable, to be honest. Like,
Oh, please write an
sibling fights
essay
are one
about
thing,
that.
but yeah, it
You're
should be
right.
unwatchable. Yeah, it's gross that they're. I don't even think there is an appetite, because a lot of the articles we read were like, "What was this?" But I think the more we have these things, the more we create appetite.
That's the other thing, and that's the thing. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's back to like latest rantings and ravings at all times. It's just like, I'm sorry, this is gross. This is degeneracy. Like, this is not what we can amplify in our culture. We're already divisive. There's already so much hate, there's discord. We do not have time for like us to normalize families talking to each other like that. It's gross. It's terrible. Even some guy at the store today was talking to me about that. What were we talking about? He was like, humans are supposed to be building each other up. Like that's our
Mm.
main job here is like all we do is cut each other down. Just we cut each other off the knees all the time. And it's so true. It was just like, oh, for
You
your
know
own
what I wanted?
family.
Yeah, for your own family. What I would like to do, and please remind me of this, and maybe this is an essay as well, but it's definitely an episode, I think, that I think we should talk about. Has any good come from maybe definitely the Kardashians, right? Or and maybe that style of reality TV at all? Because it's so funny. As you were talking, I was thinking, wait a minute, don't we already come down, as we've mentioned before? We already had an episode on Kim herself. Don't we already come down on this family for so much, for introducing so much, sort of garbage, frivolity, banality,
What?
um,
Cultural
vanity,
appropriation,
cultural appropriation.
pornography,
um, yeah,
pornogrification of,
glorifying plastic surgery. So, like,
oh yeah, that's right. Bad.
and on top of
Oh,
this, now family strife and selling your sisters
family
out. Like,
strife. Oh yeah. Oh
is there
God.
anything
Family
good that
strife.
comes from, like, what are the good? There must be something, right? Or are they really just creating appetite for
Degeneracy.
degeneracy? But also, like, that degeneracy is one thing, right? Okay, you make your money and you exploit the rest of us, but now you're exploiting each other. Like, what? Like, what? At least be thick as thieves.
Fratricide.
At least,
Oh,
yeah,
that's if they
like,
kill each other. But if you're killing
close enough.
someone
Yeah,
emotionally and energetically and their
yeah,
reputation and just
yeah. It is that I think that is there's something to be said about that. Like, wait, you can't have it all the ways. Like, you can't be promoting, all of the evils. Like, really, you can't even stick together to do this. Like, that's a bit much. So I think it's kind of extra gross when you think about it that way. Like, wait a minute, you're already bringing us bad stuff.
that's so true.
Like, no, you don't get to bring more bad things. No, 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 you don't get to introduce now snugging at your family and saying really horrible things to each other.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about so Kourtney called her a narcissist and some other things. Oh, that everything's about her. She's selfish. She can't stand other people being the center of attention. I can't remember the other criticism, which actually were probably all valid, honestly. So that's what I'm talking about. Oh,
Yeah,
really? Should we? No, we don't have time. We just need to wrap this up. I am tired of them. But we probably have a whole
agreed.
episode about Chris. Like, are you going to
Yeah,
be a mother or what? Like, what's going on here? I
I
don't know.
think she thinks she did her job, and she certainly made all them kids rich. So I think we've seen what all the mothering that we're going to see from her, and now it's time for someone else to step in. You know what? Oh, I have a brilliant episode for them. I bet they have it in the works already. They need to have on a Jan Levan Zant and have her, what's her tagline? Not change my life, but something like that. Jan Le fix my life. Yeah, they need some sort of coach to come in and talk to them and de-escalate, because it is kind of gross. And that way, guess what? They get to still keep their weightings. They get to still be as toxic as they are, but then they can maybe promote a little bit of healing and not tearing your family apart.
That is a good idea.
Kardashians, if you're looking to hire me,
Oh,
I am
there you go.
reachable on the socials for Toxic. So there we go.
I like this
So
idea. You would be
your
a
final
great
verdict?
celebrity
Wouldn't I?
therapist. Oh my gosh,
Thank
you'd
you
be
so
so good.
much. Thank you. I
Let's
think I
sneak
would be
that into
great,
the
and I would be
universe.
right, and I'd be really fair, and I don't care enough about them to really side with one or the other. You know what I mean? Good listener. It would be great. So yeah, Chris, call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my schedule's wide open. So, any final thoughts, or yeah,
Don't
any
tell
or
her
a final
that.
verdict?
You're much in demand. So she's gonna have to, plan ahead to get you.
Right. Yeah. Obviously.
Final verdict is definitely toxic and they are about to be on my permanent naughty list. Like that question you asked was so key. Like, what good are they bringing?
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, please, if you have any answers, let us know. What good are the Kardashians? What good things have they brought us? How have they changed your life for the better?
Let us know in the comments. Also, let us know who do you think was wrong. Or is that bad? Are we like adding to the divisiveness. No, I'm sorry.
No, no,
It's
I
like,
genuinely am curious, like how people land on this, because yeah, because
yeah,
you really see it both ways. Like, yes, bratty, show stealing younger sis. Yes, sourpuss, opportunist older sis,
right. So, and also, what about Chris? Like,
and also Chris.
so,
Also
who is
Chris. So
the
yeah,
villain?
please weigh in.
Yes. Okay. And that's it for us. Have a great rest of your whatever when you see this.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.